The future is nigh, and it looks bright. Today on...
Not lame at all. We ain't starting over now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Press B to Cancel. I am today's host. It's been 3 weeks since I've got to see these wonderful faces, and I'm so happy that not only did they let me come back, but they also let me talk. So that's pretty cool. What's up, guys? Welcome in. With me, as always, is the amazing and incomparable Werewolf. How are you, sir?
Aside from sick, which is only said in enough to give me a deeper voice, which I love when that happens. I'm pretty good.
You just pour that voice in my ears like rich, tasty caramel. I can't wait to. I know it's caramel. I don't care. Sick Jake is also back. He's sitting next to me, not physically, but spiritually.
Emotionally.
Jake, how are you today, sir?
Nice. Nice.
No, I'm not buffering. I am here this time, I swear. For those listening to the audio, I'm just an asshole. Sorry.
And literally the coolest cat in all of the Midwest, James GPD. How are you doing, sir?
Doing okay. I feel like too much has been made of the sunglasses, so I'm just gonna. There we are. Much better.
You had glasses on under your glasses. That is the greatest trick I've ever seen in my life.
You know what? Points for them not being obvious that they were stacked.
Yeah, honestly, I was like,
they're the exact same.
How do you wear glasses? No, that's why.
Yeah. Actually, I'll probably take these off. The whole thing was just a visual gag, and it paid
I
off.
usually pop my lenses out of my frames.
If anybody's unsure what's happening, of course, just pop over to the YouTube feed and watch it instead of listening on the regular podcast.
Yeah.
I could be wearing sunglasses too if I were sitting in the sun for like 20 minutes.
I'm uncomfortable that we're videotaping this. I thought you said this wasn't going on OnlyFeed. Sorry, YouTube.
Who sits in the sun for 20 minutes?
It's too late now.
Jeez.
At least we're not talking about...
They're transitions. They just...
Those were transitions. They're just really instant transitions.
Yeah.
At least we're not talking about cucks. Okay, so welcome back to Press B to Cancel. Today, we are going to talk about not that thing, but better things. We are talking about the future. That's right. We have gathered here today. But wait, hold on. We're missing a member. What is Sinistar doing today? Isn't he out hunting elk underwater in the trench of Gibraltar? That's a place.
That's a place. Yeah.
It's sea elk. He is hunting for sea elk in the Strait of Gibraltar, and I'm hoping that he comes back safe with some great rewards.
Yeah.
But we miss him. We do miss him.
Water bison.
Water bison? Don't change what I'm doing. You're not even here. You can't change it.
No.
No,
he let us know
you.
remotely. He let us know
watching
remotely.
His phone has
I'm out
really good
elk
reception
with my underwater phone.
Underwater,
Way to ruin the joke. I'm never doing this
We just need to stream from his phone where he streams.
You know what? I came back after 3 weeks. I already want to quit again. Jesus Christ.
4G it really is everywhere. Yeah, it's great.
Well, okay. Is it because he's correcting you, or because of the word Gibraltar? I'm trying
to...
both.
Both.
We've missed you so much.
I'm sure you have. It sounds like you have. I'm a little rusty. Guys, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about games that are coming at us hot and heavy. I know we're all excited about it. We are primarily retro enthusiasts amongst the crew, but that's not the only games we play, and that's not only the games that we stream or we post on YouTube or anything like that. There are new games that are coming out. They're coming out very soon, as a matter of fact. And I know that we've had a selection amongst all of us that we're excited to talk about. Is there anybody specific that wants to go first about the things that they are excited about coming here in the near future? Don't raise your hands all at once, please,
honestly,
guys. Back off.
Like, I had to cut my list down because there's a lot of stuff I was excited about based on what I saw from Tokyo Game Show, Gamescom, State of Play, the recent Nintendo Direct, all this stuff. I was like, ooh, there's lots of good. There's also a lot of shit that I was like, I could care less. But there's plenty of stuff that I'm excited about as well. So
I will be honest, looking at Wolf's list of games that were in our Discord, it made me want to remeasure my member on that because there was a lot of games. And I felt like I came with a nice bundle, and you blew me out of the water. I was like, I should probably go find some more. but then it's going to turn into the Wolf and Chart show, and that's just going to be awkward for the other two. So
No,
whoever wants to go first, speak up. Let's
It's
go.
okay. GP and I like to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
read
there's
about
a
that.
Cox
I
thing
heard
again.
about
All
that.
right.
Yeah. Cox.
Jake, I'm going to pick
Camera,
you
hole
first
in the
because you
wall?
seem
What's the
so
preference?
eager to talk about the games that are coming up. Jake, what games
you
are you
can't do
super
me
excited
first because
about?
I got to set the links up. Hold on, yeah.
Because you're my
I
fan.
guess
you're
I
my-
guess I'm
you're my
first because of
favorite
Lance.
No,
producer.
I got it. It's okay. Okay, so for me, I'm just gonna stall for a second while I pull this up. I've started getting into fighting games this year, like pretty hardcore. I've always, enjoyed fighting games, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. I've just been really terrible at them. But when Guilty Gear Strive came out last year, I think it was, I started playing that and getting pretty serious with it. I mean, seriously casual anyway. And I've been enjoying it quite a bit. So I've been looking at what's coming out next. There's new Tekken coming out, but I'm not really a big fan. But there is one franchise that I kind of fell off for, I don't know, 10 years now. And I've always meant to look at it, but it's kind of put me off. And I'm stalling because I'm trying to find a button. There it is. Street Fighter 6 is my pick. I'm looking forward to Street Fighter 6. So there's Street Fighter 4. It looked okay, but I was not really in a headspace for games at that time. Street Fighter 5, I almost picked up, but then all the reviews said the same thing across the board, is that it was a multiplayer game. The single player mode is almost non-existent, and it's not really that fun. I think it was actually not even in at release. I think they patched it in. That's how stupid it was. And it was in an era when fighting games like Mortal Kombat and the Mortal Kombat versus DC games have amazing story modes for single player. Those are games where I can enjoy playing them online, of course, like you normally would. But the single player stories are really well done. So there hasn't really been anything outside of that for Street Fighter. Until now, Street Fighter 6, the guys who are helming this are going all out with both the online multiplayer, but also single player. They're using I think it's a similar engine to what they use for Monster Hunter. So they have an open world section. You customize your character just like you would in any of those games. You go around this metro city environment, challenging folks and doing battles and whatnot, kind of leveling up your character. It's only early. They've only released a little bit of a teaser of what it's going to look like, but it already looks freaking amazing. And it's Street Fighter. I love the Street Fighter characters. I always have, right? And seeing what they've done with Blanka and Zangief and Dalsum, and this looks just killer with the way he does the fireballs and the teleports and whatnot. It looks amazing.
It's like Tony Hawk, but you beat people up.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Tony Hawk's a good analogy because like Tony Hawk was such an amazing game 10 years ago, and there hasn't really been anything like it. But when they brought out that remaster, people are hyped for it, and it's great to see. It's kind of bringing that nostalgia and bringing it back in a new game. And I'm digging the way Street Fighter 6 looks. I think it looks amazing. I love my arcade sticks already. I'm just all ready for Street Fighter, and it comes out early next year, I believe. So they have an open beta or a closed beta coming up soon, I think. And I'm trying to get into that because I want to see and feel how it plays. Because I feel I am a little picky on my fighting game choices.
You know what I'm happy to see? Ken get a job.
Well, that was
it
the
looks
joke
like he
with this,
started
eh?
out in a construction place. It's just good to see. It's good to see him back on his feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the meme with Street Fighter 6 and Ken, because he does look like he's, let's be real, homeless, is that they're saying that his wife left him and divorced him, and this was divorced daddy Ken. That's what the meme was when they first teased this. But Capcom came out clearly and said, no, something happened to him. He got framed or something, and he's on the run. He's on the run, and he's left his family behind to keep them
as
safe.
a divorced daddy.
As a divorced daddy. But like
Yeah,
you
can
look
we
at like
Can we stick with the
Guile.
first option? I think that sounds so much better.
I like that one better. What is he on the
I
run
know.
from? The government?
They haven't said
not paying his
I mean,
bills? Like what the
child support.
Assault, obviously.
Assault. I don't know. But Guile
like
looks
it.
like it's a bald spot. Blanca's in like these farmer overalls for some reason. Like they've taken the old World Warriors and kind of done a weird spin on it. And there's a bunch of really cool new characters as well. Like I think it's 14 characters going to be coming out at release. And you know they're going to add expansion passes to these, right?
Of course.
If you get a chance to see the video, look at the size of Ryu, however you want to say it. The guy is as thick as a door. Like he's wide. Like it's weird, but it looks really cool.
I know I think when I first initially saw the video for them introducing it, Ryu or however you want to pronounce it, was like the first one that they showed, like turning his back or whatever, doing his like Hadouken thing. And I was like, that man is huge. Like, he's been training for 6 games. So I guess you'd be that big if you were, in the games that long. So, but no, I agree. I like the open world aspect. I do like the Tony Hawk Underground feel of you're free to kind of roam around the city, but then you get into fights. You get into street fights, which is, good. And then that's how you level up your characters. I like that direction that a lot of these older games are going in. That used to just be basic side scrolling or basic 2D fighting or whatever, and we're gonna make it so that like you're out there and doing their thing. My favorite thing about Madden, which I know most of you don't play at all, but is the make your player mode in Madden,
Right.
and then you play as just yourself or whomever you make in Madden and go to a Super Bowl, baseball games and all that stuff. I love making my character as myself. Like, the thing that I never got to do as a kid was become a Super Bowl champion football player. So I just think that's a neat aspect to be able to implement yourself into the game. It'd be cool if they had that facial recognition thing where you could take a photo of yourself or whatever, and then maybe superimpose it onto the character so it looks more like you. Because a lot of the sports games were doing that later in the future.
It's great because, like, I mean, we used to joke a few years back that everything was an RPG because every genre was bringing RPG like elements, right? And all it is like stats and customizing characters, and that stuff is great in games like sports or fighters that did not historically have that kind of stuff. So I love the customization. I think it's great. So yeah, I'm all for this. Like, I really am. Like, Guilty Gear Strive, I love it as much as I do. It's great, but there's no story in it. The story is literally an anime you watch, and it's not interactable at all. It's the lamest thing I've seen in a while. So I'm in for a fighting game that has a story, and I'm hoping this is it. I really am. Otherwise, I'm basically looking forward to the next Mortal Kombat game. So
Yeah, let me pitch a quick DLC to anybody who's developing that kind of stuff for this. I want a crossover with the Mortal Kombat characters, but I want to see them and, like, if they were real world, not out realm or whatever. What job is Sub-Zero? Where's he working at? I like to think maybe he's a Subway sandwich artist.
I
That
was
would be fun,
thinking the
right?
same thing.
I don't know
What?
why, but that's accurate, right?
No, I feel like he'd be a sandwich maker or
The
an
only thing
artiste.
is,
Sorry.
yes, of course. Sorry, the sandwich artist. But Johnny Cage should not be allowed to be a movie star. He would have to,
He's
I
a
don't
janitor,
know.
bro.
There's
That
just a
guy's
lot of
janitor
things
in
that
a
you
high
could do.
school. Don't tell me he's not a janitor in a high school. You know he is.
Oh, man. But yeah, that's what I want. I want to see the Mortal Kombat characters brought over. Plus, it would also give the Street Fighter people a chance to develop some fatalities or things like that. Um, what was it Mortal Kombat started doing? They had friendships. They had the things where they turn into animals.
and
Beastie, no.
fatalities.
No, don't say that.
Yeah,
So
no.
that
tread
one.
lightly on that
Wow.
phrase there, dude.
Animalities is the word
There
I
it
was
is.
That
grasping
it is.
for.
There
And
it is.
it would be fun to see that in Street
Bestiality.
Fighter. So
I
yeah.
don't even know if I'm
Yeah.
hosting this anymore. This is out of
So-
control.
So I want to
Proud of
say
that.
that I think it's weird that it took Capcom 17 years to do the exact reason I bought this game for the PS2 is let you make your own characters.
Yep,
Yeah.
100%.
Soul Calibur 3 was doing it in 2005. Why did it take Capcom 17 years to catch up to that? I don't get it.
Because Namco had the technology and they weren't willing to give it up.
No, you know what it is? I'll tell you. It's Soul Calibur and Namco was smaller, and they had to compete against the big boys. And at that time, Street Fighter was king. Capcom was on the peak of what it was as a company.
Yeah.
But there was a period
Third
where
Strike
Capcom
was not
nosedived.
great though.
That's you know what? I didn't like Third Strike, but there are fans of Third Strike who are just diehards for that game. They think it's the most technical and perfect Street Fighter game around. People love Third Strike. So
It's a lot like people that like Wily Wars, I guess.
it's a good game.
I never got into
Good
it.
game.
Like at that point in time, I was into King of
games?
Fighters and Fatal Fury.
Mm-hmm.
SNK
Fury.
versus.
Yeah.
Those were my games at the time. So
You know what they need? They need a Street Fighter soccer mix-up game. That's what we need. Like Mega Man Soccer, but Street
Mhm.
Fighter Soccer.
Absolutely. Why not? There's
Because
no downside.
then Guile can do the rainbow kick thing and he can kick goals, but it like kills everybody too. Be
The
interesting.
rainbow kick?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does, what's it called? I don't remember.
Flash
I don't know.
kick.
Flash kick, is that what it is?
I mean, it could be rainbow, so
That's-
I don't care. But
Honda would have
it's
to be
been
the
20
goalie,
years.
right?
Who
All
knows?
of Honda's stuff is hand-based.
He's goalie.
So it'd have to
Him
be
and
the goalie,
Blanco would be the
absolutely.
goalies, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he got the hands, right?
Uh-huh.
Stopping the balls. See,
Yeah.
Capcom, listen up. We got a game for you.
Yes.
Capcom has been on like a just this rise of popularity the last 2 years or so. Like they had a really rough patch of everything they did was just turning to shit. But the last few, Monster Hunter, Street Fighter's is going to be hyped. I don't know, the Resident Evil remakes. Like Capcom is kind of having their second peak,
renaissance,
I guess, of this decade.
which is good. You want to see the things like that for those small startups. So good for them.
It's like an uprising.
Yeah.
You know, when you
Maybe
want
we'll
to take down
finally
the
get
big
that-
boys, you be the big boys.
Maybe we'll finally get that Dark Mega Man X remake.
Let's go. Let's go.
Or start doing Maverick Hunter again. The Maverick Hunter for the PSP. Give us a 2 and a 3.
Right,
And
that was
put
a
it
good
over
one.
somewhere. Those were so great. Anyway, sorry, none of that has anything to do with it.
No, it does because it's about the future.
This is the speculative future.
Well, I mean, they did recently announce the Battle Network collection,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
they left out network transmission. Don't even get me started on that.
well, they
Look,
It's
did.
going to
forgetting
angry
something.
tweet Capcom any day now.
They did, but they're redoing the Mega Man brand to be a farm simulator.
There it is.
Right.
Really, really hot right now.
All the farm games this year.
Get equipped
So many
with
farming games.
Even-
grass
Even
rake.
Disney jumped on the farming game bandwagon.
Carrot hoe.
Carrot ho.
Get equipped with diesel tractor. Fantastic. You know what? I wasn't excited about it until you talked about it, Jake. And now I am. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fighting game guy at all, but I've always had a soft spot for Street Fighter because it was, really big growing up when I was younger and everything. And it's good to see. The artwork on it is always kind of like the Thick Boys artwork thing is really, really weird to me. I don't know. It's just me, but the watching like you said, the Halcyon and the Blanca stuff was like, that's actually kind of cool how they animated that to make it look like it did. So I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it too. Now I wasn't. Now I am. Points
all
for you
kind
for
of-
making me excited.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that, but Street Fighter characters are all kind of built like the Eric Bana Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. Now we know who animated him. It was Capcom the whole time.
Yeah.
Who does Nick
Perfect.
Nolte play in Street Fighter? That's what I want to know.
He created his own
apparently-
character.
Apparently can now.
Yeah, he could be Ken. Yeah.
He's Blanca.
Yeah. Gary Busey as Guile. I could see it. I
Yeah.
could see it.
Guile Busey.
Kyle Busey.
Kyle
Yeah.
Busey!
Flash kick! Sonic boom!
Sonic
It makes
boom!
sense. It makes sense. All of it makes sense.
All we're saying is
Oh,
give us another Street Fighter movie. People are ready for it. With the
We're
right
ready.
casting. Yeah.
Put a hologram of God damn it, his name. I've been messing up names all
Jean-Claude
day
Van
today.
Damme. I know he's not dead,
No,
but you
Raul
need to get
Julia.
a
Put a
hologram.
hologram of Raul Julia in there, and we'll.
Uh,
I'll buy every ticket.
okay, so
Perfect.
what's next?
What's next? Who's next? Who wants to go next? I'll
I'll
go
go
last.
next.
I'll go
Oh.
next.
Oh, GP, you got it, baby. What do you got?
Okay.
Me and Wolf will take over the episode when everybody
yeah.
else is done.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You hit it on the head at the top of the episode. We're all pretty much retro guys. You guys at least kind of dip your toes in relevant things, and I don't. So with that said, Final Fantasy IV. No, they had announced
remake,
that,
demake,
right,
remake.
on the Switch. They're going to be adding GoldenEye 64.
Yeah.
And I am so incredibly hyped for this. And here's the reason why. You know how great of a game GoldenEye 64 is?
Pretty
I
great.
don't. I never played it growing up. I had a brother and he had friends and I had family members who played it, but I never had a copy of it. And I was never good enough to play with the big dogs. So I never really, I wasn't until recently that I even realized there was a campaign, like a story mode. I just thought it was solely a 4-player, mess with your friends game. So, plus I didn't really have friends, but that's not important. That's a different episode. But no, so now what they're saying is, hey, we're releasing it. It's going to be on the Switch. There's going to be online multiplayer. And this is the second chance for me to do the one thing I wanted to do in high school, other than the one thing everybody else wants to do in high school. And that is, vote.
Tetris.
So, yes.
A different kind of odd job.
That's the thing. And I'm hoping that everybody who played GoldenEye 64 back then quit playing it, and now everybody in the world sucks equally at that game, so that I have a fighting chance. Because though my skills as a gamer have increased a little bit, they almost certainly are still going to suck for GoldenEye 64. But I cannot wait to talk to anybody who wants to give me their Switch code so I can, just do anything other than slappers only. Let's do it.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. I'm saying.
So I think this is super cool,
Mm.
except for the fact that it's locked behind the, pay more for Switch Online.
Oh yeah.
I don't do the.
I would be.
I'm on my brother. My brother just decided that he was going to get the family account and share it with anybody who was interested. So his friend, another one of my friends, me, my kid, we're all on his account. And I'm sure as shit not going to be like, hey, you want to pay for a little more?
Just reach out.
As it is, he paid he figured, you know what? This costs less to do it for up to 8 people than it costs for a year of PS Plus or whatever. So,
right.
And he does PS Plus, but he figured, screw it, I'll just bite the bullet and make sure a bunch of people can play online, which is really cool.
I was gonna say, if he's too scared to play against me, I get it, and that's fine. The other thing I want to say is, it's Nintendo. If this had been just about any other company that was kind of like upcharging it, I'd be upset or surprised. But it's kind of par for course when it comes to Nintendo, so you can't be too upset. You just have to say, I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it. I guess it's kind of like gas prices. I don't know. But I'm excited for it. And like I said, I'll probably suck and give up after a couple of months. But those 90 to 120 days are going to be so great and filled with alcohol and profanity. And I'm there for it.
Let's go. I'm signed up for alcohol and profanity. I'm all about it. We used to play this game religiously after school. I was in high school when this came out, and we would get together and do the 4-player split screen, and we came up with such great one-liners when we pick up the 6-shooter. It's like cowboy up when we pick up the 6-shooter. We'd be like cowboy up, and then we chase each other, and one person would undoubtedly always be odd job and win every game because he's a pile of garbage. But I specifically remember this game because of the cool shooting animation. It was one of the earlier games that when you shot at a location, the character responded to said location. And there was, it's not ragdoll physics because they didn't exist back then, but it was the closest thing. It wasn't just like one animation of something dying after playing Doom and all that stuff. So it felt more as polygonal as it is real, I guess you could say. It was more interactive with all that stuff. I loved GoldenEye playing growing up. I loved playing it with my friends, and I'm very excited to rehash that and kick the hell out of GP and GoldenEye.
Yes,
I'm very excited about that.
But even just hearing you tell that story, I still feel the same feeling. I remember this from the late 90s of like, God, I don't say yearning, but being so jealous that everybody knows this game and plays this game all the time. And I'm like, hey, have you guys checked out the original Mario Kart? This is fantastic.
I just wanted the watch laser to shoot and kill things, but you couldn't do that.
I have no reference. I don't know. You're like, yeah, all the animations and all. I know there's a code where everybody could have Donkey Kong sized heads.
Yeah, I remember big
DK
heads.
mode. Yeah,
and that's
remember that as well.
Literally, that's all I remember. That's all I know. And slappers.
Slappers was another one. Knives wasn't Knives one too.
Proximity Miles was my favorite.
Proximity Mines was dope.
Yeah.
Golden Gun. Obviously, everybody loves the good old Golden Gun, the Golden PP7. Let's go. I'm excited. I'm a big fan.
I'm excited for it to be relevant, is what I want to say, because it's
I can bring back that nostalgia, GP. We'll head it out to your location, and as soon as you get it downloaded, I will take your Switch away and play it in front of you. It'll be just like it was.
I love it. I can't wait. It's gonna
bring that nostalgia back.
That'll be great.
Yeah, this is a game my brother got when he got the N64 for Christmas, and oh man, we played the crap out of this. He was, maybe 4 at the time when this came out. I don't know. He was little. For whatever reason, my parents were like, "Yeah, let's get him GoldenEye." I mean,
sure.
Why not? Why not?
You know what though? The wild levels of violence weren't prominent in games at the time yet. We weren't seeing stuff
there's
like
no
Grand
blood
Theft Auto.
or
gore
or anything.
The only blood you ever see in this is when you die and you see the red drip down from the top on your screen.
Yeah.
So
it's gory
it's
as
not.
it got.
Yeah, it's not particularly gory. I mean, it's yeah, it's got real people's faces, but I mean, how many polys does it take to make Sean Bean believable?
Real
So-
people's faces, he says.
I mean,
It's pretty good.
Alec Trevelyan has Sean Bean's face.
Yeah.
It's on like 6 polygons, but it's there.
You know who has John Travolta's face? Nicolas Cage.
Touche.
Ah,
Face off.
Thank you.
but
More jugs
yeah,
for that man.
Yeah,
this is
I'm
a
out.
game that we played the crap out of, and there was, I'm sure every group had their specific modes they liked and the specific stages they liked. Like, stacks was always good. I think the upper 2 levels, but basement sucked.
Sure.
Stuff like that. So there's all sorts of really cool mashups for game modes in this game. I'm just sad that it's limited to Switch Online. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would love to play this again, but
It would
Yeah,
be
that's the
fun.
thing.
It'd be fun to have a 4-person press B to 007, press
Yeah.
B to GoldenEye, kind of run like we did with the Ninja Trolls thing. That would be pretty
Here's
cool.
what will
Did-
happen.
did-
We'll do that, but it's going to be limited to 4 people, and that'll be the week where I won't be there. The past 25
I didn't
years.
even think
have taught me
about that.
something, yeah.
GP
Yeah.
shows a plate. Hey guys, I'll just watch the stream. Thanks. Can
Did
you at least
Rare
put it on
ever-
YouTube so I can watch it?
did
No.
Rare ever do a remake of Perfect Dark? Not a sequel, but like a remake of the original Perfect Dark.
I heard it's
Don't
it's
know.
coming out in the next few years, but they've had some
Okay.
development issues. I think they have a different developer on it. I thought
Ugh.
it was Crystal Dynamics or something on it. It's something odd like that.
Well,
Yeah. With this
Could
game
be okay.
specifically, I am hyped for it to be on Switch Online. I have it, and I do want to play it. The only thing I'm a little bit bummed about is that there was a remake of GoldenEye that was in the works for Xbox 360 and Xbox Live Arcade, and it was in development and it got canceled because the rights for this game is a freaking nightmare because you have the Bond estate, Nintendo, and Rare and all that stuff. So it got canceled, but it was leaked I think last year, a playable version of it so you could play it, and it was basically a remastered version of GoldenEye. The reason I'm excited is because at the same day that this was announced, Rare went and tweeted that they're bringing GoldenEye, a remastered version of GoldenEye, to Rare Replay on Game Pass. And I'm like, well, shit. Forget Nintendo. I'll play the Rare Replay version. But then people start pointing out it's not going to have the online. That's going to be exclusive to the Nintendo Switch version, which sucks. So I'm a little bit bummed about that. But
I
the
mean,
other thing
that's the whole point, right? That's the whole plate. The whole
Yeah.
reason we played GoldenEye
is the online.
nobody gave a crap. I mean, the movie was good. Don't get me wrong, but we didn't play it because we all loved the movie. We played it because it was a split screen time to play your friends in a head-to-head combat in the same room,
yeah.
and it was iconic at the time.
I've never
you know what I
seen
mean?
this movie.
Yeah, neither have I. I've played the campaign.
I'm sure
I probably
most
know more of the
gamers, to
story
be
from that.
completely
but,
honest with you, I'm sure most gamers haven't.
Yeah.
I'm sure most people that played this game didn't care. They saw a short dude with a PP7 and they said, "Let's fucking go. I'm
Honest-
in. Let's."
Yeah, it's
Not even a Bond
But-
fan, honestly.
people that have played the game.
Well,
that
hold
have seen
on.
the
Slow
movie.
down. Let's slow down a little bit there. on
I'm
the
not
Bond
either.
fandom.
No,
Wow, okay.
I'm with Jake. I'm not really a
Yeah.
Bond
Please continue to snowball me, guys. Please, please bury me in your lies. I love it. I love.
This
I
is-
can't breathe down here.
This is a game though where you try and play it on emulators over the last couple of years, and it does not feel the same without that original controller. So I know that the Switch
Well,
or Nintendo's brought out a remake of the N64 controller, and I put off buying one. But this is the game. If I bought one, I would buy it for this game because the way they adapted the N64 controller, which is a bad controller, let's be real, it's a bad controller. But what Rare did with it to make this game work as a shooter was pretty good.
Yeah, agreed. What a weird controller. That's for another episode. Yeah, we could dig into it. I could see it hanging out there back there on your top shelf, top
I
bottom
do
shelf.
have one, yeah.
I do. I see it.
Oh yeah, right there.
Fantastic. I love that. I am also very excited to play this again with friends, family, and people that I will not talk to afterwards when we're done playing it. So it's a great
Yeah, the newest
It's a
way
great
to end
separator.
friendships. Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
Bring the people that you're on the fence about and play some of this with them and see how on the fence you are after that. You'll probably be on one side or the other.
It's
No
it's
question.
the monopoly for the current era.
It is the monopoly of the current area.
I love it.
Beautiful. Wolf, I know you've got a slew and we've got plenty of time to fill. So why don't
All
you
right.
tell us what you're excited about, sir?
Jake, what did you load up for me first?
You tell me. I got both ready to go.
What's in the hopper?
All right.
Let me know.
Let's start with Dad of War, Ragnarok.
Fantastic.
You gave
You
me three
said-
games. You
you
gave me 3
said-
games. I did the first 2, and you picked the third one. Hold on.
Well, the
Hold
first
on.
2 are going to be part of the same conversation because one is a spiritual successor to the other.
Yeah, they're
All right.
together.
I mentioned that.
All right. Well, you're
That's
good.
the one that I need to get some money in on that one. I'm excited about that one.
So we're going to talk about Dad of War Ragnarok. I played the first one. I hadn't played any God of Wars, as I was telling you guys before the episode, until this one, like the first, the reboot, as it were. It's not even really a reboot. It's just reconnecting to the story much later down the line. So it's sort of standalone, but it still reflects his past. But I wasn't lost not playing any of the old games, which was great for me because I had no interest in the old ones. This one was great. The story, actually, it damn near made me cry at points. The
Really?
gameplay was a lot of fun. Yeah, there are some characters that are just a crack up. There's one guy who is just super vulgar and rude and to the point, but he's not rude just to be rude. He's just like, you're wasting my fucking time. Get on with what you need and get out of my face.
I like
Nice.
wasn't there the dude that's just a head and he had
Yeah.
like he had some side comments here and there every now and then. I like that
Mhm.
character. I've heard him
So
say that shit.
the first game was a lot of fun, and I was disappointed at the point they left it off on, not because okay, let me be clear. When I beat Halo 2, I was pissed at the point they left it off on because it felt like there should have been more game. This one, I was disappointed at the point they left it off on because I wanted more game.
Fair.
I
Fair.
wanted more story. It was a satisfying end to the story, and so I'm looking forward to Ragnarok because I really want to see where this story goes. And I'm so glad that this is going to be on PS4 and PS5 because I don't have a PS5. It's probably not going to happen.
That's fair. I gotta say, I've not played this. And I'll make it quick because I know you got a lot to go through, so I won't go too long. I played the original God of War, and I really enjoyed the first one. But to make this what they made the newest God of War, the Dad of War version that came out, I've only watched people stream it, and I've loved every minute that I've watched playing it. It looks super fun. I think what they did with taking the overhead, just action hack and slash feel and turning it into the third person over the shoulder view with more concept, more story, more depth to it. Brilliant. I think it's a brilliant plan, and I need to get my hands on the original, give it a shot. And it's not from not wanting to play it, because my freaking list is so long. I need to start knocking that down before I get on it. So
Yeah.
this is going to be a cool game. I'm excited to play both of these when they come out.
Yeah, I know there's probably a lot of people that kind of overlooked the first one because it was meme to hell with the boy, but that's how he talks to his son because he wasn't really the one who took care of the kid. His wife was.
Right.
And so now the first game opens up where he's having to adjust to getting to know his son for the first time, really. And he was always about, he loved his wife. He took care of his son, but he left his son to his wife. So the game jumps right off with, they're having to start to get to know each other and learn to live with one another. And you get to see their relationship evolve and grow and actually become that of a good father and son. Whereas at the beginning of the game, they're basically strangers. And so you get to see Kratos actually become a dad instead of just a father. And so, yeah, it was meme to hell, but I look forward to seeing what they do with the characters in this one because by the end of the first game, the kid sort of starts to find his own way and become his own person. Whereas it wasn't so much that he was an individual character. Like obviously he's his own character, but he was very much a child. And sometimes he'd just get pissed at dad and not do what dad wanted to do because he was like, oh, I know better because you're just my dad, that kid mentality. And you get to start to see that change throughout the game. So I'm looking forward to what they do with this because now the kid's world has very much dramatically changed at the end of the first game. And I'm trying not to give spoilers because I want you guys to play the first game if you haven't.
Well, hold on now. So the line there is no spoilers for this one, but you guys can tell me all about GoldenEye. That's fine. Also, Trunks and Vegeta, same energy. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say Kratos' kid, still better spellcaster than Donald Duck. Thank you. Fight me.
Yeah.
But
you know,
yeah, like the fact that the first game had the what is it? The world serpent. What's it called?
The World Serpent.
Is that just what it's
I
called?
don't know.
remembering
It just that's
correctly?
what it sounds like to me.
It's like a giant snake, and you actually see this thing change its positioning throughout the game, and that's kind of what opens up the world to you in the first game. It's
Hmm.
super cool. So the fact that this one is just going deeper into the Norse mythology, I'm all for it.
Very cool.
You know what else is great about GoldenEye? Kidding. I'm kidding.
it's gold. Yeah. Now you got me.
That's
saying
gonna be cool.
GoldenEye. It's epic looking for sure, hands down, and it's got the voice of.
That's almost like Batman.
It's also got Christopher Judge is
Christopher
the voice of
Judge.
Kratos, and I love Stargate, and he was Teal'c in that.
Ouroboros. Is it Ouroboros?
Ouroboros?
Might
Okay.
be.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's an awesome looking game, and now that Sony's been bringing a lot of their titles to PC now, I really want to go back and play.
He nailed
War.
Kratos.
Yeah. Am I lagging?
Carl. Kid of War is a better child than Carl. I'm sorry, I had to read that. I'm sorry. That was good. That got me good. That was pretty good. What else do we have on the docket there? Well, Wolf, I know you got a slew. I'm again.
All right.
I don't have as many as you
I'll
do.
jump into
so.
my next one because this is one that I think a lot of us can relate to a little more, and that is Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster. So I'm super excited about this. I have Suikoden 1 on the shelf still. 2 I sold years ago because that's a story with a lot of my games that ended up being valuable. I needed the cash. I sold it. So I'm very much looking forward to playing 2 again. Apparently, this one has been totally retranslated, which is great because the original Suikoden 2 had a terrible translation. Great game, great story. Translation was eh. Some of the words didn't even make it out of Japanese properly. They're still basically Japanese, just with English letters.
Okay.
Yeah, like for example, there's a town that they talk about a lot in the first game called Southwind. You never get to go there. You get to go there in the second game because it takes place in the neighboring region. And in the second game, they call it South Window.
Wow.
Stuff like
South
that.
Window?
Yeah, window. Because
They have the greatest burgers in South Window.
the D would be followed by an O sound. So they literally translated it as South Window.
Sold. Absolutely sold. I'd be fine with that. That doesn't sound so weird. I mean, if they were like Japanese caricatures after South whatever, then I'd be like, all right, guys, come on. Now you're just being fucking lazy.
But like, and one thing that was super obvious, like a circlet was literally translated into circuret. So it was stuff like that. It was a lot of little lazy translations that I was like, what happened
they were
guys?
Teaching us to speak Japanese in small tidbits, in small bites. You know what I mean? Maybe they were trying to help us.
Do they have any strong opinions on all our base? Thank you.
But
not deserved. I appreciate
this
it.
This game is
cold.
So it's called remaster. It's somewhere between a remaster and a remake because they did make it widescreen. They redid all the maps and backgrounds and everything, and they touched up all the sprite work. So the game is redone for the modern era. It still looks like the resolution is still that same scale of resolution. It's just widescreen and much prettier. It looks really good, and I'm super excited about this. I have wanted to play Suikoden again for a long time, and I can't bring myself to do it a fourth time and screw up the game-long mission of saving a certain character and messing it up by saving in the wrong spot again. So I'll do it in the remaster.
I have not played Suikoden. It has been suggested to me on numerous
Yeah,
accounts
I know. That's why
by
I didn't
people.
spoil that just now. But
Thank you. I appreciate that. It will be. We're gonna try and
I-
200% the originals on what
I was
PS1
going
is
to
that when
tell
that
you, if
came
you
out?
haven't played them, just wait for this and play this. I know it comes out next year. I'm
But I
sure
want
your
that.
audience is like, you got
I
to play
want
it.
that
So do I.
badge, baby. I want that
Oh,
That's
200% badge. That's what we're going
But-
for, which will take me the rest of my freaking life to get.
These are absolutely games you should play. And
Agreed.
then there's the spiritual successor to Suikoden that's coming out also, called Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Now, I heard Eiyuden Chronicle Rising is kind of repetitive and not that great of a game, but it was also developed as just something to get the lore out there before the main game, as I understand it. So, I mean, you get what you get.
Mhm.
But Eiyuden was actually made by a lot of the same people that worked on the original Suikoden games. So it's, for all intents and purposes, it is the next Suikoden, because we all know Konami has basically left everything on the floor and just went, yeah, we're done.
You guys
Pachinko,
pick up
baby,
what you want. We're
pachinko.
leaving.
Yeah.
This is exciting. I got an announcement from a friend of mine that was pumped about this coming out, and I don't know. Did this remind me? Did this have a Kickstarter that was attached to it too, or something like that?
It did at one point
Okay,
have a
yeah.
Kickstarter attached.
So I wanted to support that because that's going to be cool, and a lot of people I know are really excited about the Suikoden mythos and whatever going, to whatever it's going to go to next. So this is a really exciting game. I look forward to it. Being my RPG nature that I am, this is going to be a lot of games to play here in the near future. This is going to be a lot of fun.
For me, there's also like this weird soft spot where when I see a game that's 3D but with 2D characters, I'm immediately drawn to it, especially when all the sprite work and the 3D modeling is very pretty. So like that's one of the things that drew me to Octopath Traveler. Back in the day, Grandia.
Yeah, Grandia.
Paper Mario.
Xenogears.
Paper Mario. Actually, Paper Mario is actually kind of cool. It's
I
not
love
the
this
same thing, but I think that the same thing to Wolf's argument, the 2D and the 3D world, I think that's really neat, and I agree with you on that. I think it's a really cool concept.
There was Final Fantasy Tactics. There was
Let's
Breath of
not
Fire 3 and
compare
4.
that to let's
It's
not compare
good.
that to good games here, guys.
But
Come on.
Breath of Fire 4 is beautiful,
Mm.
and it's got really cool 3D backgrounds, and everything else is sprite based, and it looks great. I love it.
That's
So
cool.
that's another thing drawing me to Eiyuden Chronicle is the art style.
So we got to
And
get through Suikoden so we can go play Eiyuden, right?
at least 2 of them. You got to play through Suikoden 1 and 2. 3, 4, and 5. There's debate on whether they're worth playing or not, but 1 and 2 for sure.
We'll just hit 1 and 2. We'll call it. We'll call it a round robin. It's good to go.
And the only
Exciting.
Paper Mario I've played is Super Paper Mario on the Wii, which is not anything like the rest of them.
Thousand Year
That's
Door
not
is the
true.
only one I've played, I think. Yeah.
I got Color Splash for the Wii U and was so disappointed. It's garbage.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
lots
all
of
my
hate of that
son
one.
wants. Which my son started playing Paper Mario at yep, the
Origami King?
Sorry, I
Yes.
can't get through this.
Origami King. Yeah.
Okay,
Origami King.
my kid came in and he was like late 4, early 5 years old when that came out, and that's basically how he learned how to read, which is what I did on Final Fantasies. It's how I learned how to read. But anyway, I'm a big fan of the Paper Mario stuff. Not important, but there's the background.
But we get it. And Thousand Year Door was the only one that I played, and I love Thousand Year Door. I think that's a great game.
It's cool stuff.
Perfect. Wolf.
All right.
Jake, do you have anything else that you want to add to that?
I'm just hoping I'm not lagging out. I'm just watching my frames. Sorry. Yeah, Origami
Sure.
King is the one I played, and
Fantastic. All
it's not
right,
that
Wolf.
bad.
What do you got? Any more, Wolf? You got a couple more that are coming in?
I do have one more I wanted to talk about. Jake's
frozen.
behind.
We're on a
He's
delay.
lagging.
Yeah.
We're on a little delay. Wait for him to catch up.
We love you, Jake.
We love
Jake,
you,
are
Jake.
you okay?
That was perfectly timed.
Yeah.
We're probably the rest of us are all super laggy, but
Again, the
Okay.
Internet Explorer joke comes back. Yeah.
Jake, are you good?
I'm letting him know I'm talking about Pacific Drive.
Perfect. What is Pacific Drive?
Well, I'm sorry, but I gotta show some love here for Werewolf, who's like, oh man, Jake's having some sort of internet issues. I better tell him I'm doing this so he can queue up my stuff.
Yeah.
That's how we keep the show running, baby.
Yeah.
I could be laying there like bleeding out, and my kid would come up and be like, Dad, I know you're having a rough time just now, but I'm really thirsty.
Guys, what are we gonna eat tonight? I know you're
Right.
dying, but I'm really
I'm
hungry.
just trying to make the sausage a little less obvious here, all right?
I love this. I'm so happy. It's my fault. You can blame me. I've been gone for 3 weeks. It's all my fault. I'm cool with it.
Okay, so one of the games that was barely touched on at State of Play, but was announced, is Pacific Drive. And this is a game that looks wild to me. It takes place in what's called the Olympic restriction zone or something.
Okay.
And so it's
Is that
the
here in
Pacific
Is
Northwest.
that here?
It's
I was gonna say, is that here in Washington?
it's like
Yeah,
the
okay.
Olympic
Yeah.
mountains and forest and all that. So I'm excited because of that. Because I'm like, I always like places where I'm like, oh, I kind of know the area. I could check that out. And then so like games that take place in Las Vegas or Southern California or anything like that. I'm like, I've lived there. I know what that's like. Let's check it out.
Real quick before you get too deep into this, there's a game called Infamous. Infamous 3, I think, was the one, and it's based up here in our area where you and I live
Neat.
around. And when you play it, I'm such an asshole. When you go into the city of Seattle, I'm like, none of that's as close to it is. It looks pretty close. Like, it's pretty good, but it's obviously compact because it's a big open world.
Yeah.
But I was like, the space needle ain't that close to all that other shit.
And I mean, I
So-
did the same thing with Last of Us 2. I'm like, this is in Seattle, so I'm
Yeah.
constantly comparing. Like, okay, is this realistic? How much did how much did they follow to the actual reality, and how much did they take license on, and all that? But in Pacific Drive, I get these weird Death Stranding kind of vibes.
Okay.
Where it's the world is like really bizarre and trying to take you with it. And essentially what this game is a driving sim, mechanic sim, where you're trying to survive your way through the region. And so the trailer shows specifically an old beat up station wagon, like we're talking Griswold family trip station wagon,
Nice.
pulling up to an abandoned liquor store / garage and fixing up the car, repairing things, refilling the tank, all that stuff. And then alerts start coming on the radio where weird shit is being detected. So the guy jumps back in the car and starts flooring it, and the world around him just starts flying apart at him, where like pieces of the ground are just coming up and you have to avoid it, and trees are like going sideways, not completely falling over, just like turning sideways to block you. It's really bizarre, but it's kind of neat too. So I'm very interested in this just because it seems really dark, and like the world building could be super intriguing.
So it's Fear and Loathing in Seattle.
Yeah.
We can't stop here.
We can't stop here. It's
This is
Maple
street country.
Right? That sounds interesting. That sounds like it's got an interesting spin attached to that.
I like that.
And
yeah.
I was initially, when I started looking into it, I was like, it's only on PS5. And then I went and looked at the website, and I was like, oh, PS5 and PC. Now I'm back in.
There we are.
Again, baby.
Sign me up. I'm in. That does sound cool. I need to look into more of that. I saw that you posted that in the Discord. You were going to talk about it tonight, and I was like, "What is this all about?" Obviously didn't get a chance to watch it because we were doing other things. But I'm now, your description of it does sound extremely intriguing. I'd like to see how that is. So are you driving the whole time, and then you got to fix your car as you're running through? Like, what kind of spin does it have? This?
It seems like you have to sort of escape the anomalies, and then find calm, and then find somewhere to fix up your car, and then get back to it. So
Wow.
it's like, really, I guess, bizarre multiversal Pacific Northwest Oregon Trail.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
I'm into it. Yeah.
It's like Death Road to Canada, but backwards and over here instead of Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have to say this. When there are genres of games that are so in-depth and developed and all these various things, and there's layers of plot and subtext and a million different things. And then you can have something as basic as, and I'm sorry I keep mentioning my kids, but my son will do this. He'll be like, Dad, what do you think it'd be like if your right hand was 3 times its normal size? And what's silly is I'm like, what a bizarre question. But the rest of my day at work, I'm like,
Well,
what the
what I
fuck would
do?
I do, man? So that's his game. That's his game. Somebody was at a gas station and their kid came up and they're like, Dad, what if the trees just like laid over? Not fell down, just laid over, and then there were like black holes in the ground. And this guy's like, okay, I'm putting you through college with a video game, kiddo. And that's but no, I love that because
Sure shit, yeah.
not everything has to be world building. Some things just have to be a bizarre take on what life is. And I dig the hell out of that. So I'm very
It's re-
interested.
Yeah.
it is refreshing to hear like a different spin on what we're used to seeing. We're used to, like Jake talked about the open world Street Fighter, and then we talked about GoldenEye, and we talked about stuff and the stuff I'm going to talk about is similar stuff that's already come out. It's just another version of it, so to speak. But to hear like the Death Stranding thing was such a bizarre game, and I haven't even dug deep enough into Death Stranding to get it, but it's so unique and it's so different. And then something like this, it's like refreshing to hear. Oh, we got these, you're a truck driver driving through the Pacific Northwest and your shit keeps breaking down. You got to avoid all these anomalies and the world's falling apart, but you don't understand what's going on. It's kind of like, that's new, that's fresh. I like that. I think that's going to be a very interesting topic here in the near future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it doesn't happen, but this is based on reality, by the way. Like, oh shit. Wolf, we got to move, bud.
Foretelling the
Pack your
future.
shit. Let's go.
Everybody
back
to
to
Florida.
Cali.
No.
The Midwest is looking a lot better these days. Let's get on out of here.
Yeah. Well, before long, it'll all be beachfront property here in Kansas.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's cheaper out there anyways. Nice. Excellent.
right.
Well, I know Jake, I gotta give Jake trooper vibes because he's holding down the fort over there. So I appreciate it, man. I know we're having our technical difficulties over here, and I appreciate you still just holding strong with us. So keep on keeping on. I guess it's my turn. Unless you have any more, Wolf. Do you have any more that you need to cover?
No, that's all of mine now.
Fantastic. You don't have to put my videos up if you don't want to, Jake, because I know we're having the difficulties that we're having right now. But if you do, Callisto Protocol will be the first one I want to do. Spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about the Dead Space remake. No, I'm not. That'd be funny, but that'd be fucked up. No, I'm going to talk about one of the games, if not the game that I am most excited about coming out here next December. It's going to be the beginning of December, actually, and it's called Callisto, not Callisto, Callisto. It's a lot like the Gibraltar. Callisto Protocol. It is a third-person, over-the-shoulder horror game that is created by the team that initially made the original Dead Space, from what I've been hearing. So the basic concept of this game, it's Dead Space. It's the same concept. It's the same idea. You are actually in like what appears to be some sort of jail or prison planet, and you're just trying to survive. You're just trying to get out and fight your way through. It's got the same things that I loved about Dead Space, which is why Dead Space is so good, is it's got the totally immersive screen background. So what that means is your HUD, heads up display, HUD display is all on your character. So it's all in a minimized space. So your life is on your neck, your weapon is on your ammo amount is on your weapon when you zoom in and all that stuff. So it is fully immersive, which is one of the huge selling points that bought me into Dead Space to begin with, was that there wasn't all these little things all around. It's literally you are who you would be if you had all this technology and all this ammunition, all this stuff in real life. So you are merely just trying to survive and get your way out. Now, I've only watched a couple videos and a couple things about it. I don't know what the story is about personally. I'm sure there's some stuff out there, but from what I've been watching, because I am that guy that doesn't want to watch too much about the new games he wants to see, because I want to be surprised by it when it comes out. But the way it's laid out is literally the exact same thing as Dead Space says it is. So you're ducking through corridors with things right up in your face. You're trying to dodge around corners. You can use the environment to your advantage. You get this cool little, like, what appears to be some kind of stasis slash levitation device, the same kind of thing that you get in Dead Space, and you can pick up enemies and you can toss them into like spinning blades and spikes on the floor, and just kind of get them out of your way and do like a little crowd control with the way that you're doing these things. As where Isaac Clarke, who's the main character in Dead Space, has like the full cool armor that he wears as the engineer. I wish I wore armor like that as an engineer. It's just sick. You are more like a person. Like you obviously look more human. And this person talks, while Isaac in the first one was more of the silent protagonist. This guy has a lot more vocal dialogue and whatnot. The story of Dead Space was spectacular. And I was going to talk about Dead Space Remake, but since I'm relating the two so much together, I'm not going to talk about it at all, because they're literally the same game, essentially, with the same story for the most part. But I am pumped to play another Dead Space S-type game from the people that originally created the initial Dead Space, because Dead Space has got to be, if not a great game, my favorite in the horror genre. It is horrifying. And I love the way that it plays, and I love the sound effects, and I love the way it's set up, and I'm hoping that we get kind of the same results out of it.
Yeah, I haven't played any of the Dead Space games, but I'm told I should play the first two.
At least the first one, if not both of them. Play the first one. I thought the second one's great too. I have absolutely no issues with the second one, but it felt to me a little bit more action packed, a little less like survival horror as the first one is. There's a lot more having to get ammunition and make sure that you have enough life. There's item management in it, which honestly wasn't as bad as, say, I don't know, Earthbound, for instance, the item management slot of things. But you still have to do a little item management, and you can unlock more slots in your backpack and things along those lines. But there's a lot of, I hope I have enough to get through here and enough to survive. Very early RE stuff like that. Two, when I played it, and it's been a while since I played two. It's been probably 2 or 3 years since I played through two again. Felt like I was getting more stuff. Like there was like an algorithm in the game where whatever weapon you're using at the time, you get ammo for just that weapon. So if you just run with Plasma Cutter, which is the initial weapon throughout the game, and one that I've run the entire game with and haven't needed any other weapons, you just get Plasma Cutter ammo throughout the entire game. So it's like I don't have to choose or pick. I can just pick up. As long as I only have the one weapon, we're good to go. So, but yeah, Callisto, going back to the original game, Callisto Protocol is going to be pretty spectacular. I'm really excited to see how that pans out and what that turns into. My second and last game that we'll discuss for today is going to be Scorn. Scorn has been in talks and in rotations, and I actually think there was a demo that was out some months ago. If you guys know who H.R. Geiger is, of course have seen Aliens and all those movies, this is basically set in that same precedent of the biomechanical look of the game. So a lot of fleshy, robotic looking type things. Yeah, that's the one. It's actually on it's on Game Pass, and it comes out October 23rd, and you can pre-download it before it's even released. But it's essentially supposed to be a horror game, much in that vein of the, I don't want to say Alien, because I don't think that Alien's in it, but it's more of the H.R. Geiger artwork style of you playing as this main character. It's got like your gun is attached to like an umbilical cord or some stuff, or there's puzzles. It's very Doom-esque in the idea of having to like do certain puzzles and find certain keys, and it's a first-person shooter. So you got to do like, I saw some guy like pick up this weird creature baby thing and put it into a blender, and it blended it up and it unlocked a door. I mean, it was yeah, exactly. It's some weird stuff that's going on
Yeah.
in this whole thing. So I'm really pumped to give that one a shot, and I've already got it downloaded. I'm waiting for it on Game Pass to give that one a roll. So check out Scorn, SCORN. If anybody's interested in seeing what that's all about. We did have some video to show, but because of the issues we're running, go check it out. It's going to be a really cool game, I think. First was sure. Found a buddy of mine playing it, and I was like hooked after watching that. I've been silently waiting to pounce on it as soon as that thing fired up. So those are the two that I'm really jacked about. Callisto Protocol and Scorn are going to be fantastic games here for the end of the year. So that's where I'm at with those guys. So
guess I'll have to give Dead Space a shot and see if I enjoy it, because I apparently have all 3 on Origin.
Man, even if you don't play, because 3 gets a lot of crap. Like, people don't like 3. I liked 3, but it doesn't get the greatest reviews out of 3. 2 is really good too. Sinistar says that he loves 2, but 1 laid the groundwork, and it plays so wonderfully. The environment in the game. We'll just talk about the Dead Space remake that's coming out too. It's a remake of the first one. They're doing the same exact story from what I hear, same characters. Nothing's really changing. There may be some differences to the game as it's laid out. But have you guys ever seen what's that horror movie in space? There's so many of them. I know that narrowed it down.
Event Horizon.
Thank you so much.
That's the one I was just
exactly
thinking
the
of,
one.
actually.
That's the one. Basically, to me, this game is Event Horizon, the video game. It's the same kind of concept. This spaceship finds something, everybody gets possessed on board, and you are sent out as a team to try and rescue this ship that's called a planet cracker. The Ishikura, I believe, is what it was called. And you come in, and it's a city ship. It's not a small little boat. It's a fucking ship.
That's
like
no moon.
It's a space station, exactly. And you're just this engineer dude that they're like, go and fix all this crap, and you're like, I'm okay, sure. You're the silent protagonist, so you don't say anything. They give Isaac a voice in the second one. I think that kind of ruined it for me too, was that he then became like he had a voice and he could talk in the second and third one. But the first one, he doesn't say anything. He's just kind of like, you know, go please fix the ship. Yeah, right. It sounds like the Goros from Link. So you're going through the spaceship and you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And your girlfriend's communicating to you the whole time, telling you about what's going on. And you're like, but you're by yourself. And then you don't know what's real and what's fake. And all these things come at you. And there are sections of the ship that are blown out. And you can go outside and spacewalk essentially, because, you know, there's nothing, but you're in your suit, so you don't have to worry about breathing air. You do have an air tank that you have to worry about, but you literally can't hear anything. You just hear your own breath in your suit breathing. So you're walking around and everything's like the sound around you is just dampened real bad. So it's just like booms and what's not. And you turn around and there's something that's been out there following you for like 10 minutes. And you're like, Jesus Christ. But all you can hear is your voice because there's no sound in space, right? Right. Or and you know, it's a extremely incredibly well thought out and well designed game. So give Dead Space a try and then play the remake when that comes out, because it's supposed to be out sometime next year too. So
awesome.
Fantastic.
You
guys,
know what?
Yeah, hit me.
There was another game how did we not mention? Sea of Stars.
Oh, Sea of Stars from the creators of Chrono Trigger.
No,
let's go.
From the Messenger.
Is it the Messenger? I thought it was Chrono Trigger.
No,
the guy
it's
that
from
did
the
the
creators
music.
of the Messenger.
Excuse me. The guy that did the music for Chrono Trigger is doing the music for Sea of Stars.
Is
Thank you very much. Yes, he is. That's why I was so excited about the game, was because he was doing it. I knew Chrono Trigger had something to do with that game, but I'm excited about that
Yasunori
too.
Mitsuda, I want to say.
Yes, Mitsuda.
Cool. I still know the name.
I wasn't even going to try to pronounce it. Don't even worry about it.
But yeah, that game looks rad, and I mean the fact that they got him to do the soundtrack is really cool, because it looks like essentially a love letter to Chrono Trigger.
Exactly.
And I mean, if it blows away the source content the way the Messenger did, we're in for a great game.
And it's still got that cool retro style looking, you know, it's not 16-bit kind of pixelated, kind of look just like the Messenger had. And what's
Yeah.
the cyber one, the robotic one that they had? That's the same thing as like Ninja Gaiden.
Cyberbees.
I
Gosh.
don't remember
What was
the
it?
Shatterhand.
name of
Cyber
it.
Ninja.
Cyber Ninja, not Shatterhand. No, Cyber Ninja.
Bionic Commando.
Yeah, it's the Bionic Commando. That's the one. That's
No,
the one.
but yeah, like shoot, what was I gonna say? Crap, I forgot. Well,
Sea of Stars is basically like a
Yes,
top-down RPG. There you go. I got you. I jogged
it's-
you. Go for it.
yeah, you jog my memory. And it's set in the same universe as the Messenger, just long before the Messenger, I guess.
I didn't know that.
So there's a point in the Messenger where you go underwater into and you see these old runes and you hear about the sun and the moon. And the game is based off of what you hear about there and expands
cool.
on that dramatically. So much so that the theme song is a variation of the music that plays at that point in the Messenger.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I know each
it's-
character is represented by sun and moon because you get like the two characters to start. I don't know how many are in the game because I've only watched like demo versions of the bringing up of this game, but one character represents the sun and the other one like represents the moon and they play together. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's the same concept of top down as Chrono Trigger. Enemies are on the field so you can see them and then you get into the turn-based battle with them as you traverse the land looking through stuff. Sea of Stars has been on my wish list for a very, very long time, and I'm very excited to play that one.
Yeah, my buddy actually pre-ordered. He got in on the Kickstarter, so he's like, he's eagerly awaiting his code for Switch when it finally comes out next year.
Yeah, the Kickstarter was done by the time I found it, but I was like, I'm putting money on this thing. Anything that's Chrono Trigger S is getting my cash, and it was.
Yeah,
already done,
I
so.
will most certainly get this when it comes out. One other one I want to mention that I thought was ridiculous from Microsoft showed it off. It is a game called, I want to say Pal World. Now, this game looks like Pokemon with modern day weaponry. Now,
So Pikachu has like a 9
this sounds
block or some shit.
kind of yes. Like you
Motherfucker.
so it looks like this weird mix of Pokemon and I guess Fortnite in terms of how the game looks.
Okay.
And like there's this one scene I remember watching in the trailer where they push the idea of you're building a little ranch and growing your Pokemon, your animal pals or whatever they're called. And you actually train them up and you farm and all this shit, right? Like it sounds like family friendly. And then next thing you see is like your character is barreling down a hillside on a motorcycle carrying an AK-47 with a little creature on his shoulder carrying an AK-47. And I was like, what the hell?
Joker P needs his gat,
And then
motherfucker.
And then you see, like, you got like an RPG, like a big old bazooka, and a friggin' Pokemon thing gets launched out of the bazooka and just causes this massive explosion at what you're aiming at. I was like, what is this madness?
You know what I've always thought was missing from Grand Theft Auto 5?
Pokemon.
Squirtle.
Swirl. That is intriguing. What do you train them to do? Do you take them to target practice? Like what?
I don't know. It looks really bizarre. I'm interested in giving it a shot just because it looks so out there.
Yeah.
I don't expect it to be great. I expect it
do.
to be interesting.
Yeah. Of all of the highbrow, sophisticated games that we've talked about today, they are all down on the list now by one more spot because PAL or whatever it is, GTA,
Pal World.
Pokemon, yeah.
Pal World.
Is number one now.
I
love
gotta see
that.
if that's what it's called.
I just thought it was, what we play over in Europe.
Is what it's called.
It's just living your
Pal
life
World.
with PAL instead of in what is it, NTSC? The sequel NTSC World.
Yeah, and the monster designs in this are actually really cool. They're like up there with some of the best designs of Pokemon. It's just that's what it's called. It's simple name, Pal World, which doesn't sound like anything spectacular. But if you go watch the trailer, oh my god, it is so bizarre and out there, and you're gonna just like, what is happening? I want to try this.
This is why parents need to always check whenever your kids come up and say, "Hey, can we download this game?" Sure, what's it called? Pal World. This is going to be great for you.
right?
Yeah, look at the
And
trailers.
if you only
always.
watch the first 10 seconds of the and if you only
Yeah.
look at 10 seconds, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, this is fine.
Look at their farming. How pleasant. Look,
Yeah.
It's like a little.
they're bringing vegetables to their local farmers market. How great. Then a shootout starts out in the
Right.
farmers market. Shit just goes tits up. Guys driving a semi truck through all these people. This Pokemon's wielding an AK-47 like he's out there trying to stop the red tide from coming. Let's go, bitches. It's Power World.
Whose Pikachu is that? Samuel L. Jackson. Oh, great.
Pika P, motherfucker.
I choose you to die.
I choose you to die. That's a good sign off. I like that. Oh my god. All right, guys.
Now we have our thumbnail.
Now we have we better have a Pikachu with an AK-47 as our thumbnail. Fantastic episode, guys. Thank you so much for all being here. Thank you so much for letting me come back in and talk to you all about some ridiculous crap here and the things that we are all excited about. We might as well go around the circle here and the square, the step. I don't even know what we are anymore. But where are you at, Werewolf? Where can they find you out in the world?
Mostly just here right now. I have not been partaking in too much, even in social media, just because I've been balancing between trying to get stuff done here, keeping the house clean, and homeschooling the kid. So
busy schedule. I love it.
yeah.
GP, what about you, my friend? Where can we trip over your beautiful face?
Well, with the right amount of money. Okay. No, I'm mostly here as well. Yeah, I've not done any streaming for a while, but I always say it. Maybe someday we'll figure it out. But in the meantime, I am thoroughly loving just being a part of the podcast with you guys.
Jake, give me a thumbs up when I get this right. But you can always find our good friend Sick Jake on the places of Twitter. He'll get back to Twitch at some point soon, especially probably when Street Fighter 6 comes out. You'll be seeing him with all of his custom-made arcade boards that he does.
5 days a week.
5 days a week. Go check Sick Jake out on Twitch. Of course, here at Press B to Cancel on YouTube. Also on YouTube, he has his own YouTube channel where he does do builds and things like that. Stop looking like you're being all modest. Nobody can see your face with me.
Also, he's doing some PS5 giveaways. Am I remembering that correctly?
He is doing some PS5 giveaways actually this week after the stream's done.
Woo-hoo!
Go flood his stream. If he gets if he gets about 100 follows, you'll get your free PS5.
I don't know anything
hit
about
like, sub, like, and subscribe. And you could find me again here at Press B to Cancel on YouTube, on Twitch at shardmonk.tv, and all of our other social media platforms as well. Just give me a holler, and it's good to be back, guys. It's good to be back. Thank you so much for holding down the fort and letting me come back and hang out with you guys. I appreciate it. Any closing statements before we're done? Before Werewolf does his, I'm sure he's going to do some voice mod bullshit. I'm excited to hear whatever it is he chooses. But closing statements for the rest of the team.
Nothing that's not wildly inappropriate.
Fantastic. That's the only way I'd have it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for bearing with our technical difficulties. We look forward to not only playing these games, but seeing you again here in the near future. And hopefully Sinistar comes back with all of his limbs attached. And maybe he said a water buffalo, whatever the hell he was looking for, a skin for his new rug. And happy birthday, Germ, to you as well, sir. Thank you so much for the people in chat, for hanging out with us on this very day. I know Gibby was there earlier, of course, the Sin Collective, and Jeff, Enthusiast Chess. I see you over there too. Thank you so much for being here as well. You guys are lovely. We will see you all soon. Peace, chicken grease. Send us out. Werewolf, what do you got, my friend?
The future's so bright, I gotta wear yellow sunglasses.
Nice.